This is page 29. Remember, work first, then check. Cameron is playing 9 holes of golf. He needs to score a total of at most 15 over par. So over par is a positive amount on the last 4 holes to beat his best golf score. So positive in golf is not good because you try to get the ball in the hole as quickly as possible with as few strokes as possible. On the last 4 holes he scores 5 over. Over is positive. 1 under is negative. 6 over is positive. 1 under is negative. So we've got the 5. And that is positive. Then minus 1 because it's negative. And then plus 6. And minus 1. So combine these two positives. Combine these two negatives. 5 plus 6 is 11. Minus 2 is 9. Is Cameron's score on the last 4 holes over or under par? He's over. Over because it's a positive amount up here. Because that's positive, he's over par, and that's not as good as he was hoping for, but he beat his other score because his other score was 15 over par. First time he played, he got 15, which is like 15 more hits than people think they should get, but he got 9 more hits, so a lower score in golf is actually better. So good job, Cameron. Herman, standing on a ladder that is partly in a hole, so let's draw a picture of that. Here's a hole, and here's that ladder in that hole, and here's Herman standing on it. There's his head, and there he is. Alright, Herman. He starts out on the rung that is 6 feet under is negative. He climbs up, which is positive 14 feet. And he climbs down 11, which is negative. So start writing that down. So here he is 6 feet under, so minus 6. Then he climbs up 14 plus 14. And then he climbs down 11 minus 11. So combine these two negatives. So 11 plus 6 is 17, so negative 17 plus 14. So here we have different signs subtract, and we're going to take the sign of the larger number, then it would be exact. 17 minus 14 is 3, and it's going to be negative 3 feet. So he's still under the ground. Explain the error. Jerome tries to find the value of the expression 3 minus 6 plus 5 by first applying the commutative property. So let's look at the commutative property just for a minute. The commutative property says, let me make some white space here. Commutative property is like saying 3 plus 2 equals 5. So if you switch the order, then it's still the same. 2 plus 3 equals 5. This is the commutative property. The commutative property works for addition, and it works for multiplication. 3 times 2 equals 6, or 2 times 3 equals 6. What is Jerome doing here? Let's check. So we're going to make some positives and some negatives. So this is a negative amount right here, negative 6. And this is a negative amount right here, negative 5. So he made a mistake when he switched the numbers around. So 6 was negative, and then he changed it to positive. So commutative property does not work for subtraction. Commutative property for subtraction. Lee and Barry play a trivia game in which questions are worth different numbers of points. If a question is answered correctly, the player earns. Earns is positive. If a question is answered incorrectly, the player loses. Loses is negative. Lee currently has negative 350. Alright. So here's Lee. And he's got negative 350. So Lee answers 275 correctly, which is plus 275. A 70-point question correctly, plus 70. And a 50-point question incorrectly, so minus 50. So this needs to go right here. Write an expression and find the value to find Lee's final score. So let's do some combining here. So combine this negative and this negative, and combine these two positives. 350 plus 50 is 400, so he's got minus 400, and then combine these two positives. 275 plus 70, let's put that right here. Thanks for writing this in your book and working, not just watching me work. 70. Okay, 355 positive. So different signs subtract, take the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact. 400 minus 350 is 50. 400 minus 355 is going to be 45, but it's going to be minus 45. And I have a mistake there, so let's find my mistake. 16a should not be 45, it should be 55. So, 350 is negative. That part is correct. 275 is positive, that's correct. Okay, so 275 plus 70. Did I mess that up? I think I maybe did. 5. Nope. So 355. Okay, so this is a mistake. So let's try it a different way and see if we can get it right this time. So I'll use red, and we'll use a different tactic here. Minus 350 and plus 275. Let's work that. 350 and 275. Subtract those. 350 minus 275. Borrow from there, make it a 4, and this a 10. And then we have 5 here. Borrow from the 3, make it a 2, make that a 14, and we have a 7 here. Now, this 75 is still negative. So we worked with this, and we worked with this. Now let's work with this plus 70. Negative 75 plus 70, that's going to be just minus 5. So then we worked with this. So here's a minus 5 plus a minus 50 is going to be a minus 55. Barry's final score is 45. Which player has the greater score? So Lee has minus 55. And Barry's got 45. So who has more points? Well, the guy with a positive amount, of course. Barry's got more points. There we go. Okay. Rob collects data about how many customers enter and leave a store every hour. He records a positive number for customers entering the store each hour and a negative number for customers leaving the store each hour. So, positives here and negatives here. During which hour did more customers leave than arrive? It looks like 3 to 4. More left than arrived. So from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. There were 75 customers in the store at 1 p.m. The store must be emptied of customers when it closes at 5 o'clock. How many customers must leave the store between 4 and 5 o'clock? So we start here, start with 75, and then we need to add this amount here. We need to subtract this amount here. So 30 plus 18 plus 14. 4 plus 8 is 12. Put a 2, put a 1 there. Let's make this neater. Okay, add that all up. 0 plus 4 plus 8 is 12. 2 goes here. 1 goes here. 1 plus 3 is 4, 5, 6. There's 62 people plus the 75 people. Now let's add this up. Add up the negatives, plus, and see how we do. 2 plus 8 is 10, put a 0 here and a 1 here. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. So here we have minus 50. 75 plus 62, let's do that. 137. So there were 137 people who were in the store. All of this is 137. Now, we know that 50 people left the store, so let's do the subtraction there. Okay, so 87 people still need to leave.